When you reach a certain stage in life, maybe it's after you blow out the candles on your 50th birthday cake. Maybe it's when you realize your grandkids have more energy running around the backyard than you do. Or maybe it's when your doctor looks you in the eye and tells you your cholesterol is creeping up. You start to ask yourself questions you didn't think much about before. Questions like, am I eating the right foods? Am I fueling my body in a way that keeps me strong, sharp, and healthy for the years ahead? And strangely enough, one of the most surprising foods that causes so much confusion is something as simple and ordinary as an egg. For some people, eggs are a superfood, a symbol of protein-packed nutrition, an easy breakfast that sets the tone for the day. For others, eggs are a warning sign, filled with cholesterol and worry about heart disease. And now, when you walk into a grocery store, the question isn't just, should I eat eggs, but rather, what kind of eggs should I choose? Organic, cage-free, omega-3, pasture-raised. Each carton carries words that sound important, but what do they really mean for someone like you or me, someone over 50 who simply wants to stay healthy, active, and maybe live long enough to see our great grandkids? That's what we're going to unpack today. But before we go too far, I want you to stop for a moment and think about this. How many times in your life have you grabbed a dozen eggs without even looking closely at the label? I know I used to. For years, I just bought the cheapest carton I could find, cracked them into the frying pan, and thought nothing of it. But as I got older, I noticed my energy wasn't the same. My joints started to ache in the morning, my cholesterol numbers worried me, and my doctor kept asking me about my diet. And that's when I began to dig into the truth about eggs. If you've ever felt confused by the labels or guilty for eating something you love, you're not alone. Millions of people over 50 are in the same boat. And here's the good news. The truth is not nearly as scary as you think. In fact, with the right knowledge, eggs can become one of the most powerful allies for your health. So let's break it down in a way that's simple, clear, and practical for real life. First, let's talk about the word organic. Now, organic is one of those terms that makes you feel safe, right? You see it on apples, milk, and of course eggs, and you immediately think healthier. But what does it actually mean when it comes to eggs? Organic eggs come from hens that are fed organic feed. No pesticides, no synthetic fertilizers, no GMOs. They're also not given antibiotics or hormones. That sounds good, and it is, because what the hen eats, you eventually eat. If a hen is eating a cleaner, more natural diet, then the egg it produces is going to have fewer chemical residues, and that can be especially important as we age. Our bodies become less efficient at detoxifying harmful substances, and what might not have bothered us at 30 can become a real issue at 60. That's one reason organic eggs can be a smart choice. But here's the catch. Organic doesn't necessarily mean the chicken had a good life or that the egg is more nutritious. An organic egg could still come from a hen that never sees the sun, cramped inside a barn with thousands of others. The word organic is mostly about what the chicken eats, not how it lives. And that's where the next label comes in. Cage-free. Cage-free sounds wonderful, doesn't it? You probably imagine chickens running around in the grass, pecking at bugs, enjoying the sunshine. But in reality, cage-free simply means the chickens are not kept in tiny wire cages. They can move around inside a barn, but they may never go outside. They might still live in crowded, stressful conditions. So while cage-free is certainly better than conventional caged eggs, it doesn't always guarantee the idyllic farm life you're picturing. Why does this matter? Because the health of the chicken directly affects the nutrition of the egg. Studies have shown that hens allowed to forage outdoors to eat grass and bugs actually produce eggs richer in vitamins like A, D, and E, and they even have higher levels of omega-3 fatty acids. And that brings us to the third label, omega-3 eggs. These are eggs from chickens that have been fed a diet enriched with things like flaxseed or algae, which naturally boosts the omega-3 content in the yolk. Omega-3s are powerful anti-inflammatory fats that protect your brain, your heart, and your joints. And if you're over 50, chances are you're already feeling the importance of reducing inflammation. Think about it. How many mornings do you wake up with stiff joints, sore knees, or a foggy brain? Omega-3s help fight all of that. So an omega-3 enriched egg can actually be a meaningful upgrade for your health, almost like taking a little supplement every time you eat breakfast. But here's where I want to pause and really drive something home. No single label tells the whole story. Organic tells you what the hen eats. Cage-free tells you a little about how it lives. Omega-3 tells you something about the nutrition inside the egg. But what really matters is how all of these come together and how they fit into your life. Let me share a personal story. A few years ago, I switched to buying organic, cage-free omega-3 enriched eggs. They were more expensive, and at first I thought, is this really worth it? But after a few months of making them a part of my routine, I noticed subtle but powerful changes. I had more sustained energy in the mornings. My cholesterol numbers actually improved, not because I cut out eggs, but because I was eating better eggs, and my joints didn't feel quite as stiff. Now, I'm not saying eggs are a miracle cure, but I am saying that small, consistent choices in the foods we eat can create real differences, especially after 50. If you're watching this and thinking, well, I can't always afford the fancy eggs, let me reassure you, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. Even if you simply switch from regular factory farmed eggs to omega-3 enriched ones, you're already giving your body a better shot. And if you can afford organic and pasture raised, that's even better. But don't let guilt or fear stop you from enjoying eggs altogether. Remember, eggs are one of the most affordable sources of high quality protein. They contain all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to build muscle, and muscle is exactly what we need more of as we age. After 50, we naturally lose muscle mass, a process called sarcopenia, and this loss of strength is one of the biggest reasons older adults struggle with mobility, balance, and independence. Every time you scramble an egg or make an omelet, you're giving your muscles the building blocks to stay strong, and that's worth a lot. Now let's address the elephant in the room, cholesterol. For decades, eggs were demonized because of their cholesterol content. People were told to avoid the yolk, to eat only the whites, or to skip eggs altogether. But newer research has shown that for most people, dietary cholesterol, the cholesterol in food, does not have as big an impact on blood cholesterol as we once thought. In fact, the yolk contains so many beneficial nutrients like choline, lutein, and vitamin D that throwing it away is like tossing out half the treasure. Choline supports brain function and memory. Lutein supports eye health and helps protect against age-related vision problems. And vitamin D, which many of us are deficient in, helps maintain strong bones and a healthy immune system. So yes, the yolk contains cholesterol, but it also contains life-sustaining nutrients that your body needs, especially as you get older. Of course, if you already have very high cholesterol or a medical condition like familial hypercholesterolemia, you should follow your doctor's advice. But for the average healthy senior, eggs are not the enemy. They're actually your friend. Here's a tip you can use right away. Instead of focusing on how many eggs you eat, focus on what you're eating with your eggs. Pair your scrambled eggs with sautéed spinach or avocado instead of bacon and hash browns. Make an omelet with vegetables and olive oil instead of frying eggs in butter. In other words, think of eggs as part of the bigger picture of your diet. They can be a foundation for healthy meals, or they can be part of an unhealthy pattern. It all depends on your choices. And this is where I want to ask you, how do you usually eat your eggs? Do you fry them, scramble them, boil them? Leave a comment below and let me know, because I'd love to hear how eggs fit into your life. And if you're finding value in this conversation, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because we're building a community here of people who want to thrive after 50, not just survive. Now let's look at the bigger picture. When you stand in the egg aisle, you might feel overwhelmed, but here's a simple framework I use to decide. If you can only make one upgrade, choose omega-3 enriched eggs. That's the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to nutrition. If you can afford 2 upgrades, go for organic omega-3 eggs. And if you really want the best, look for pasture-raised organic omega-3 eggs. These come from hens that live more naturally, eat a better diet, and produce eggs with superior nutrient profiles. It's like choosing between good, better, and best. But no matter what you choose, remember that eggs are not just food. They're part of your story. They connect us to our childhood breakfasts, to the meals we share with family, to the simple joys of life. And at this stage of life, when every day is precious, it's worth making choices that help us feel alive, energetic, and hopeful. So here's the bottom line. Seniors absolutely can and should eat eggs, but choose wisely. Organic, cage-free, and omega-3 labels each tell part of the story, and together they can help you make decisions that support your health. Don't fear the egg. Embrace it as a versatile, affordable, nutrient packed ally in your journey to stay healthy after 50. And as you sit down to your next breakfast, remember this: it's not just about what's on your plate, it's about how what you eat shapes the life you get to live. If you want more energy to travel, to play with your grandkids, to pursue your passions, start with the small choices like choosing better eggs, because those small choices add up to a stronger, brighter future. And if this message resonates with you, share it with a friend, because sometimes the people we love just need a gentle reminder that health is not about extremes, it's about daily habits. As we wrap up, let me leave you with a thought. You have the power to shape your health one meal at a time. Whether you choose organic, cage free, or omega 3 eggs, what matters most is that you're choosing with awareness, with intention, and with hope. And that mindset, my friends, is the real secret to thriving after Numbly.